A cup of tea, like Steve?
Go on then.
Cup of tea, like Steve?
Top.
Shut up, man. I did my own heating. You dirty bastard. Fucking horrible thing, that. Planting cockroaches. They press record, didn't they? Aye, whatever. Whatever.
Welcome back to the Filta. I'm Steve.
I'm Gordon Strachan.
And what a show I've got in store for you this week, guys.
Why have we?
Where should we start?
I know what we'll start then. I'll set the timer away for the guys. Oh, thanks for tuning in last week as well. If you didn't mind pressing subscribe and like, that'd be great.
I guess we'll kick off. There was a load of boxing on last weekend. Some hellish fights. Savaannah Marshall, Claressa Shields. What a hell of a fight that was.
It was a battle fight, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
It's a shame we never got the win.
I know. It was
we
close though.
Retiring.
Apparently she'd said before the fight that it was going to be our last fight, but I don't know, at the end she was saying that we'll do a third one because the 4 months before the Olympics. But
I never seen that as a rematch, mate. It's not really a rematch, is it?
Well, they fought each other before.
I think it was a rematch though.
They sort of.
Aye.
They fought each other once before, so. But I've seen at a professional level. But it was a class fight though. They were just toe hell for leather the whole fight. It was very close, and Claressa Shields did look unreal. Like round one and that, she was just throwing loads of fast combos and that.
I know, aye.
And but at the same time, so was Savaannah Marshall, and I thought it was really close, and I couldn't have decided either way. And I thought either way, this goes here, like you can't really be mad either way. But I thought Savaannah Marshall might have pipped it because she put the pressure on the whole fight.
She was on the rope the whole fight, wasn't she?
She was just pushing him out the whole time. But that's the thing, I still don't even know how to score boxing. Because it's not the same as MMA, is it? Like in UFC, like if you control the cage, that's like a big factor, isn't it? Like, but obviously in boxing it mustn't be. I don't know. I don't know how to score it.
We'll have to look it up, you know, guy. And we'll
Cass said, mate, I said it the other day, she went, how can you watch a sport and love a sport so much when you don't even know how it's scored? I went, that's actually a good point. I haven't got a clue.
Write in the comments how to score the boxing.
Aye, someone let one know.
Tim will know.
Aye, Tim, you must know.
Tim likes it.
I think it might just be clean shots landed. The more clean shots. It can't be punches thrown. Punches landed, do you reckon?
You could swing windmills for the whole fight. No.
Because when you do the stats, it's about like 100 punches thrown, like 10 landed. So it must be clean shots landed.
Clean shots landed.
Oh, I've got the door wide open, and hear the airplanes and that.
I'll shut the door, will I?
Aye.
We'll just cut this piece.
Cut this bit out.
We'll have to cut this piece. Yeah, man.
Cockroaches everywhere.
You did get cockroaches. That was a test, that, you know, because if you couldn't hear the aeroplane, they wouldn't have the doors open because it's heating up in Sydney, mate, guy. Isn't it?
So is it not? Oh, so. In for a penny, in for a pound, eh?
Aye. There's 50, Nicky, or the drop.
Aye. Well, I have to stop swearing though because it does add time on the editing, like it's doing my head in.
Wait.
You've got to watch the whole thing and watch every little bit and find the swear words and then copy and paste it.
Aye, tell yourself that because I didn't swear.
Aye. And what else? So anyway, they did women's boxing proud, like.
Aye, the fans won last week, guy.
Aye, the real winner was the fans, guys. And I think that was one of the best fights I've seen all year.
Aye, it was.
I'd say so, like.
I thought one of the greatest fights I ever seen this year was the Wilder fight.
The Helenius one.
Hey, what a fight! What a fight, eh?
Aye.
I can't stop saying guys, mate. I'm down heat it.
It was a hell of a knockout, like just sparked him, didn't he? But did you watch the full fight? He was boxing terribly, like.
I know, aye.
He looks terrible, doesn't he?
Aye.
Like that's the thing with him. He is a crap boxer. Like he's just throwing windmills all hour, and he's just like doesn't look steady on his feet and out.
The human.
But then that's it. He's just got that power, hasn't he?
I know, and it's scary that power, you know, because it's looking like there's going to be a Wilder Fury 4, you know.
Aye, Fury was on about it.
Fury's keying us out, isn't he?
Aye.
There must be a hell of an amount of money in there.
So obviously they just announced Fury Chisora 3 in the press conference yesterday, and at one point he was saying why do you want to fight Chisora again? You've already beat him twice, and all that. And he was saying, and people have also said, why would you want to fight Deyonte Wilder again? He says, who would want to see a Fury Wilder 4.
Me?
So I know lots of people, but I'm thinking...
You know what? Like we were saying and all that, he's going to get to the point where someone's going to end up beating him and it's just going to spoil his...
His legacy.
His story, man. His story's unreal. He just needs to have... Maybe he's like what's saying, you fight... Chisora, then Usyk. But this is saying that he gone straight through Chisora, his name up.
Aye, I know. But the last two fights... Have you seen the last two fights? I know it was about 10 years ago, like.
I know that, aye.
But like, first fight, obviously he won on points, but he pretty much punched him all over. Second fight, he absolutely battered him.
Aye.
And he was even like just toying with him, just throwing little jabs and like looking at the ref going like, are you going to stop this? Because he felt bad, he didn't want to hurt him and that. He was thinking he's going to get hurt here. And he didn't get up off his stool after the 10th round.
We'll run it back this week.
Aye.
That'll be a nice one to watch.
So I'm guessing it'll be pretty much the same, to be honest. Like, because I know like since then they've both like, you know, improved as fighters, but I just can't see anyone giving Fury much trouble.
And that's saying that Wilder's going to walk through Andy Ruiz as well. Because I fancy Andy Ruiz to box him, and then I fancy Wilder to knock him wouldn't it, in the fucking 12th round, and there's another swear word for you.
And Fury was kind of saying what I was saying on the show last week, that everyone gives Usyk loads of credit for being like a top heavyweight, but he's only beat Chisora and Fury. And like Fury...
Yeah, he never beat Fury.
Sorry, not Fury, I meant AJ.
Joshua,
I meant. Sorry, guys. And like he says, he's only had 3 heavyweight fights, and like we thought he got beat.
Misinformation, that.
I know, I'm gonna get tucked down. And he's beat AJ twice, who, you know, picked these fights all his career, and he's even picking these fights new because what Fury was saying in that press conference, he's saying
I believed him, mate.
AJ had a month to sign the contract, give him a month to sign the contract, even extended it, and they didn't do it. He won that 10 grand off the promoter, didn't he? He bet him 10 grand that AJ doesn't sign the contract. He didn't, and he was on the thing with 10 grand cash money. And so he had his opportunity to sign the contract, and he didn't. And he says as soon as we offered it to Chisora, boom, here we are, press conference. So yeah.
And the way that Fury was saying it, he just looked like had him in I believed every word he said. Me, I didn't think AJ wanted to fight him, and probably wise decision not to fight him and all.
I think it might have happened because I think obviously maybe for AJ in their camp they probably didn't want him to fight so soon after that hiding he got of Usyk, saying that I wasn't too bad. But
the second one wasn't as bad.
It was, but he got beat, didn't he? And he obviously was in a bit of a bad way afterwards because he had a bit of a breakdown.
I thought he seemed sound after the fight, mate.
But Fury was set on fighting in December, and that was when he wanted to fight, and maybe it wasn't right for them. But I reckon Fury beats Chisora. Then they were actually saying at the press conference, and they're eyeing up a unification fight in February, March, and then I reckon Fury will win that, and then I reckon he should have one more fight and maybe just do the AJ fight for the fans and give AJ a shot at getting all the belts, and then beat AJ, and then that's it. But there's always going to be someone else coming to fight. People are going, oh, why is he not fought him? But like, there's always going to be someone else. I
know, and then these up and comers, and someone's going to catch him, and then it's going to beat him, and then it's going to tarnish his.
And Fury actually said it himself. He says a lot of these like fighters back in the day, like your Muhammad Ali's and Tyson's and Mike Tyson's and that, like they went on too long and they started losing to like lesser opponents who would never beat them in their prime. And it was obviously quite sad to see. And he says, I don't want to be that kind of fighter. I want to retire at the top. But then he said the other day that he wants to have 10 more fights.
And that's exactly what.
So he's actually going to end up doing that if that's what he's going to do. Like, I would have been happy had he stayed in retirement.
He didn't stay in retirement, Babylon, mate.
Oh no.
Didn't he not, Steve?
Nah, certainly didn't, guys.
Hey, this is your new Filta podcast, guys.
Like, subscribe and share, guys. Remember, if you share the show on Facebook, you get one of these guys.
I do, that's what we tell you.
Did
You've been waiting a long time.
That was another kind of knockout last weekend. That Caleb Plant knocked out that Anthony Durrell.
Aye.
Boom. Hell of a shot, that. Sparked him.
Aye, it was a vicious combination.
Aye, good comeback after getting beat off your double.
Canelo, wasn't it? I went out to watch the Kambosos fight. Hey, that was a battle, that, like, if anyone watched
Devin Haney.
He's an absolute warrior, him.
Devin Haney.
Kambosos. Haney's unreal, like. But Kambosos, man, I don't know how he didn't go and do it. He had a chunk at the side of his heat, you know. You could see it when he was running about the ring. He had to get I get chunked inside of his heel.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but you were saying he had some good
We had to
moments
watch
as
it
well,
through the
didn't he?
week. Yeah, I but he did. He hurt. I thought he hurt him a few times. Me, like towards in the third quarter, I would say Kambosos. I thought he was going to get at me. I was saying to my dad, he's going to stop me. I mean,
it's a shame. I would love to have seen him win. But do you reckon Haney's just a better fighter, better boxer?
Aye. He must be.
It's unfortunate, isn't it?
That division's unbelievable though. There's so many hellish fighters in that division.
What's next for George Kambosos then, do you reckon?
I don't know, maybe he'll...
We'll have to get him on the show, he just lives up the road.
Wait, my lass's boss, their cleaner is Kambosos' mother-in-law.
Aye.
And apparently the boss was offered tickets to go and do to Melbourne in the front row and watch, because they're dead close and that. Aye. So we could have went doing for now. Sat with the Kambosos.
We could have took a mic and interviewed the guys at ringside.
Yeah, we'll not rule that one out. Like maybe we could have get Kambosos on one time.
Can you get to one of his next fights?
Maybe it's Lopez might want the rematch with him.
I think he should have like a like I say easy fight, but fight like someone who's not like a top 3 or something. You know, it's like have an easier fight just to get a win under his belt, get his confidence back a bit and that.
Yeah, and he looks
but that's what's good about Kambosos. He just takes the hard fights, doesn't he? He just fights everyone.
He's a warrior. He's one of them Spartans.
Some boy, yeah.
He's a Spartan, the guy.
On sport news, I guess for a little bit of NUFC news here, guys. I thought this was funny. I got the screenshot of the Evening Chronicle, and it was all these people making comments about Eddie Howe, like back when he first came to the Toon. Chris Sutton, he clearly wasn't first choice. I don't think Newcastle have handled the situation overly well. And then Unai Emery essentially turning them down. They had to get someone in. Paul Merson, I don't know if they've got a clue at Newcastle. I think they've come in with all this money and they're just going to spend. As Lee Hendry said, the fans won't be happy with that appointment. Carlton Palmer, I question anybody right now who went to Newcastle. I think they're down. I think they're relegated. So why would you be going there? That was nearly 1 year ago. And then fast forward to now, we're 6th in the table. Least amount of goals conceded this season.
The only time we were unbeaten in at St James's, the one time we did get beat this season was Liverpool.
Aye.
And it was in the 98th minute and it was a mockery that
Aye.
like. It was a joke.
Didn't we get a goal this loud or 4?
I think we had 2, didn't we? And then, but they scored in the 98th minute. Couldn't believe it, mate.
But hey, we drew a Man City.
Aye, with 6 now, weren't we?
Aye, 6th in the table, and again the least goals conceded. So Chris Sutton, Paul Merson, and Carlton Palmer. What are you saying now, guys?
That guy be a bongler. He's full of shit and all. You know, everyone just has it in for the Toon because we're the richest. You know who's annoyed me of late actually, and I've always had time for him. Jurgen Klopp. He's just twisting because Liverpool's playing crap. He's saying, nobody can compete with Man City and it's unfair and all that. And then they actually beat Man City. Yeah, I haven't got any time for Jurgen Klopp anymore. He's just twisty. Just a twist I hear. Missed that twist.
What was I going to say? I forgot.
You know what it is? Like, normally I would fill up a lot of this time with swear words and that, and it's making us think that I can't swear and that, so I've got to...
Use your brain.
I've got to use my brains, aye.
I'm trying to think there's anything else on there.
They're lacking.
I was trying to think there's anything else on Newcastle I was going to say before we moved on, guys. Maybe there isn't.
The Toon, we'll wait to Saudi Arabia to have a nice training camp like that. That'd be nice.
Aye, sweet.
Get a bit of sun on the guys' legs.
Why aye.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Speaking of that.
So what else has been going on in the news this week, guys?
Oh, you were sending me that thing about the bugs.
Oh, aye.
Didn't we call that a little while ago?
You know who on about Bill Gates is buying up all the farms and this, that and the other, and they want to get rid of agriculture and all that. They want to move to like insects. I saw an article, I think I know where it is actually. Huggy sent us it of our people. Surprise, surprise. Aldi planning to sell bugs as food to help poor people through the winter.
Bug, you know what it is? It's a mockery, this.
It's like a plate, I'll just put the thing on. It's like a plate full of grasshoppers and that.
Oh.
Now you'll never ever catch me eating insects. If that's the way the world goes and there's no meat, I'll just eat vegetables.
I know.
No way, you'll see me with a plate of fucking cock reaches.
I'm not that desperate for a bit of meat. I know.
Yeah, do you want a crisp?
Nowadays, the only time that I would is if I was in like somewhere like Thailand and I was
wouldn't
pissed.
even do it then, me.
I bet you would.
Yeah, man, I can't even eat seafood. You're gonna see me eating a cockroach. Like
I wouldn't eat a cockroach, but they sell like scorpions on sticks and that.
Like to be. I can't imagine they're very nice.
I think it's more like a novelty thing, isn't it? Like, oh, you're in Thailand.
I'd rather just have like a normal meal, please, guys.
It's not like that.
There's a pizza.
I wouldn't get a scorpion for me.
Get some pizza and Blix.
Snack pack.
Aye, get us a pizza. But another thing, I guess,
but we were saying, because they're saying it's to help poor people through hard times. So they're pumping the electric bills and the gas bills and the mortgages and that, and then they're gonna feed with ants to help. Are they for real? Who will get a plate of ants and we'll get that nice new kettle we've got on, because Boris is coming back, isn't he?
Oh God!
As if that's happened.
Aye, so Liz Truss resigned after a month, was it? 5 weeks?
If you've been living between a rock or a hard place, then you would have known to put it.
It was all kicking off in Parliament, wasn't it? There were all people saying there was bullying going on and people even physically being manhandled and all.
Why should resign?
I don't know, but literally like a day before she was saying, there's a video where she was saying I'm not a quitter and all that, and the next day she resigned.
I'll quit.
But
I've had enough of this, guys.
Aye. But I mean, it's just, we've said it time and time again, it's just like the British politics is just a joke, innit?
We've said this time and time again.
When they're gonna listen?
When they're gonna put the new filter on and realise they're a bunch of
and why is getting Boris in, who's already failed, why is that the solution? Oh, no, I've got a good idea.
Is it?
Let's get that whopper back in.
They're the Tory party, aren't they?
Aye.
When's the next election when's the next election?
Tell you who we need in, Liz Twist, your Labour MP of Bladen.
Aye.
She'd do a better job.
Aye.
She's about the people.
Who and Oliver. But they couldn't do much worse.
Now what else came out as well, now all this energy shortage thing. This is actually off a UK fact-checked politic, so it's meant to be all legit. The BBC has prepared secret scripts that could be read on air if energy shortages cause blackouts or loss of gas supplies this winter. So they're actually preparing for that to be.
It's alright, you know. The lights is off. We've got no heating on, but we've got a nice plate of bugs for tea, guys.
And
don't worry about it. We've got some snails to eat.
you know how it is though, with all this stuff that's happened over the last few years with COVID and lockdowns and the mental things that the government's put in place. This will be the next thing, won't it? I wouldn't even be surprised. No energy and we're sitting in the dark eating cockroaches.
What's the world coming to like?
It's a pure.
There'll be no lights on the Christmas tree.
It's a pure sham.
It's a goddamn sham, guy.
What about yeah?
Oh, aye, that was what we were meant to talk about, that, weren't we?
Kanye West.
We're getting off on a tangent.
Kanye West's been doing the rounds this week, ain't he?
Aye, when you watched the Drink Champ, didn't we, last night?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, 2 hours of it.
We mentioned last week he went on the LeBron one and it didn't air it because of how he was talking about Jews and that. And then he went on like Drink Champs and they were like, oh, we'll hear you on. Because it's a podcast, if you've not seen it, where they're all just sitting and get smashed, haven't they? Like drinking and taking shots and that.
I've seen snippets of Drink Champs before and thought it was good, but I've never watched the full thing. I loved it, mate.
Aye, it was mint, aye.
But I was cringing at him, like, because we touched on it last week that he was going on about the Jews and all that, and I was like, oh, bloody blah. But through the week, I've been watching little bits and bobs and that, and maybe you have got to put yourself in their position. Yeah. Like you never know how it's going to affect.
You can't
someone.
just address the whole race of people.
Aye.
Like the Jewish community is a Jewish. Like he may be talking about specific people who are in positions of power, but then there might be, you know, your everyday Jewish person going to school, and then people in the school might be saying, "Oh, why is Kanye West saying that? You do this, that, and the other."
At one point, he was even saying, "I want Jewish kids to be looking at their parents and saying, why does Kanye hate us?" That's not right.
No.
Like, I would say 99.99999% of Jewish people don't have a clue what is going on.
Mm-hmm. We are.
It's like the very tiny amount of people who he's kicking off about.
Yeah.
And he's just slating the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Is it right?
Yeah, I guess. But he's, since that interview came out, He's done like a few things. He's done something on Piers Morgan, didn't he? Where he was I seen a clip where he was apologising for everyone he's hurt with his comments and all that. But
it took a long time to get rid of him. Did you watch it?
No, I'm not actually.
Yeah, you just seen the snip where he apologised. Where that Piers Morgan would have got what he wanted there. Rid of him. And it went on and on, because at one point Piers Morgan said, "Would you like to apologise?" And he said, "Absolutely not." And then it went on and on and on for about another 10 minutes, and then he was like, "Oh, maybe I could have said it differently," something like that.
Well, even that Norway, the host of Drink Champs, like the next day after it aired, he was like on like the radio show, ringing in, apologising and all that. You know, I would take it down, like and all that.
Nice pube even.
But what they were saying,
didn't Ice Cube even?
Ice Cube kicked off with it because he's trying to say, "Oh, I got these ideas of Ice Cube," and Ice Cube was like, "Hold on, didn't get me involved."
Yeah,
he says, "I'm not an anti-Semite, never have been, so keep my name out your mouth," kind of thing.
Because on the
you playing footsie with me?
It's ye. It's all the bugs. It didn't. Yeah, it says Ice Cube's given us the whatever it is, the influence to
the
do
green
it.
light. Yeah, Cube wasn't having it, like. But like a lot of things Kanye West says, like I kind of understanding that, but then he just takes it too far by just like every question that asked him, he just brought it back to talking about Jews somehow.
Did I? Yeah, like, it was getting a bit cringe at one point for me. I was like, "Oh, can he just drop that?" But then the thing is, with the Drink Champ, the pissed as well.
Aye. I've just literally seen this minute as well when we're setting up the show that
news just
he's lost the Balenciaga deal, and they've said they've severed all ties with him, and also he's just hired.
Are they Jewish now?
I don't know.
You flip.
I know. And also Adidas are trying to sever all ties with him, so he's hired Johnny Depp's lawyer. Now that defended him.
Aye. Is that right? Is it?
Aye.
Adidas have severed all ties with him.
Or they're trying to, but
where's he going to take his Yeezys then? I know where he can take his Yeezys. He can take them to the skip.
Aye, the shite.
Aye.
I think like if he just rein these mental political opinions in a little bit, a lot of what he says is actually like we watched. There's a 3-hour podcast. Watched 2 hours of it last night, and like that was only probably about 20 minutes of it, like in total, where I was just like, oh, whatever now. But a lot of what he was saying was actually like pretty good.
I like the way he talks.
Aye.
I can sit and listen to him for ages because he draws you in and you and you can listen, but then he'll just drop some mad stuff in that you just shouldn't be saying, especially if you're in a you can't be bringing hate on a whole race, like.
Aye, that was a bit far, wasn't it?
Aye.
And then he went on about the whole George Floyd thing.
Aye.
Where he was saying that the police didn't have his knee on his neck and was fentanyl akin to. I was sitting there going, "Oh God, what do you doing here?"
I know, aye.
But he was pointing out that BLM was all a big money making scam and all that, wasn't he?
But then there's ways to say that. Who released that documentary about George Floyd?
Candace Owens.
It's her documentary. Or did she just highlight it?
No, she made a documentary
saying that George Floyd
apparently points out loads of facts. It pulls up his the autopsy report thing, and it says the cause of death was fentanyl. And there's some of that stuff they're pointing out, but I don't think it really matters, like, because if you look at how he's being treated by the police, it still wasn't right. Like,
I know. And it's not just him that gets treated like the police like that.
I know, that's all the time.
It happens all the time, so regardless, I don't know what to say. I just try not to say anything, I guess.
It's mad, and I know. But like what Kanye West was saying, that thing that was saying, like disaster reporting or something, like the whole thing, how it all blew up with George Floyd and all that, and then the thing with like school shootings and that, he says the same amount of people die in Chicago every week, just like people getting murdered and that, but he says you didn't see it on the news.
Aye. And when we were watching towards the end there, wasn't Kanye ended up saying that he was jealous of the Jewish people, like the way they got on?
He does his selling favours. So
then there's a way that he could have said it. He didn't have to go an anti-Semite.
But he was saying, "You've poked the bear too long."
No.
He was like aggressive, wasn't he? He was kicking right off.
You know, I was sitting watching him. Do you think he's all there or what?
Nah.
You know?
Nah. Well, he's got bipolar and he's been diagnosed. He takes medication now apparently. But nah.
Do you know the one thing that I wonder? I was gonna say it before, but I was like, I'll keep it for the programme. Do you know, like, if someone asks him a question and he will literally sit there for half an hour and talk, do you know if you can do that and not care about anyone else in the room having like a part of your conversation or even listening to what they have to say? That to me says that he's like What's the word for
narcissistic?
Aye. Is that it? That must be a mental disability, surely.
Aye.
Because he just sits there and talks and talks and talks and then asks himself questions, then answers them. And every time he got asked a question, he somehow brought it back to Jewish people. But that didn't have nothing to do with the questions.
Aye.
And he went on Drinks Champ as a guest, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, they asked him questions.
Aye.
He just used that as like a PR. But if he had just said nothing about the Jews and said one little thing about the Jews, maybe, and just says, "Oh, I'm jealous about the way that their people are. Maybe my people can be like that."
Hasn't he bought his own social media platform and all?
Aye.
But
Grumble. Twist.
But it looks like he is getting cancelled now. The Adidas thing, the Balenciaga and all that. They're all just like, well, now Dave knew because of all this drama in the press and all that. What's been happening this week?
But doesn't he have the potential to be someone if he just dropped all this hate stuff? I didn't get the whole White Lives Matter thing. I just don't get it.
Why you done the t-shirt?
Aye. Did he say it was because his dad thought it was funny?
No, that was after it came out.
Oh,
his dad sent him a screenshot of it, with a laughy face. He says, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think about it?" And I just think it's funny that you're just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously just a shock value thing, isn't it? He wants attention, and by doing stuff like that, he is going to get attention and cause debate. So that's exactly what he's doing. This is probably exactly what he wants. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, the Piers Morgan thing will be good. Because
I'll
Piers Morgan doesn't let people talk. Kanye doesn't let people talk. It's just gonna be racket, isn't it?
He did hint that was a Watch the Throne 2 coming out, didn't he?
Watch the Throne 2?
I know your album.
The Jay-Z? Aye, he did hint that. That'll be good.
Aye.
Do you know what?
Jay-Z needs to rein him in, doesn't he?
Aye. They're pals. But there's one point, one bit I heard. Wopal, we'll get him on the programme one time. At one point, Piers Morgan's twisting on saying that Kanye's not letting him speak and all that. And then Piers is saying, "This is my interview, I'm interviewing you." Aye. So there's one bit of in the I've seen it, I think it might have been on the wireless on the way to work. I heard them talking about Piers and Kanye and the bickering and that, and they won't get a word in edgeways, and then Piers is saying, "This is my interview, I'm interviewing you," and all that, and then Kanye's saying, "No, you're Bono, I'm interviewing you too." And it's like, this is the way I can rap.
I did see that he says that how much money do you make?
I know, aye.
And he's like, well, not nowhere near as much as you. He says, well, why would I take your advice? You should be taking my advice.
I know, aye. But the thing is though, I didn't agree with that, mate, because not everything's about money. I think Piers Morgan was trying to say what he was saying was wrong.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, or if you're saying something Raj, then you can take advice off anyone.
I think
regardless of how much money you've got.
I think Kanye's whole thing at the minute, what he's trying to talk about is power and money in those industries, and having the money does give you the power. So in the fashion industry and all that stuff. So he's just kind of saying, well, why would I take advice from you? Aye. I'm further up in that kind of world.
Aye. Well, Piers even replied to that, saying that he would happily take business advice from him. There's a lot of stuff that I like Piers Morgan in a lot of the stuff that he's not scared to say how it is. I think Piers Morgan, but some of the stuff I'm just sitting there thinking, yeah, he's an absolute whopper here.
I do like that about Kanye West as well. How he is fearless and he says what he wants. I do think you need people like that, but I just think he needs to just refine what he's saying a bit about so he's not offending different races and that. And
he's running for office in 24, isn't he? He kept hinting at that.
Aye.
There's surely no chance that he can get it. Surely.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Trump will be in 2024.
I wouldn't mind if Trump gets back in,
Right. Ken Oath.
I was better than that Sleepy Joe guy.
That would happen with him and his crazy son who's on the pipe.
Yeah,
I'm boiling me Christ.
Alright, thanks.
What was that?
The cockney chat.
Aye.
You shit yourself there. Aye. We'll keep that in.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in again, guys. It's been really nice. Nice of you to stop in.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. and all that.
Oh, we've got a quest coming on soon, haven't we? You got to keep your eye peeled.
I've got a big special guest coming on soon.
Aye, we're just finalising the detail. Right. Thank you very much, Guy. If you didn't mind pressing subscribe and like, write something in the comment now. Christ.